Hello and welcome to Light Medicine Ministries. My name is Debbie Nelson, and like we promised before, I'm here with the founder of Light Medicine Ministries, Janita Mason. Hi, Janita.
Good morning, Debbie.
And we're going to get pretty raw and real with my test results. I have been suffering for years, dealing with some chronic inflammation and health issues. Janita actually was so kind as to tell me how bad I looked.
I've been rubbing it in your face a lot, I think. I have to sometimes because people are just so hard to get it through to people, so.
Yeah. So part of the reason I want to vlog about this experience is I think that I'm probably a more typical, maybe not even more typical. I really don't eat a processed food diet. I don't. I still love my pizza once in a while. I do not drink soda. I do not have a lot of different things. So I think of myself as relatively tuned in, obviously not acclimated as high, but I've been working in a holistic field for years. But as you can hear from my voice, I'm hoarse. I have rashes on me. I have bloating. I am brain fog, concentration, and I feel sick a lot of times.
You couldn't a couple of mornings ago.
Yeah, honestly, I've been doing really poorly. So Janita, we did my oats test, and we're going to talk about it live now. Yes. About this, because I want people to understand that. So if I were to go in, example, if I go into my normal primary care doctor and I would just tell him the various symptoms that I'm having, I would walk out with sleep medication. I would walk out with probably something for my gut. I would probably walk out with
Adderall for the brain fog.
Yeah, Adderall to be able to focus. I would have a puffer for the asthma-like symptoms in my throat. Let's see, I would probably be on 10 different meds. I would.
Yeah, all of which
because they would medicate me all up on all my symptoms. So
all of which would make the problem worse while you're drooling on the couch. Yeah, that's a sign of health.
Okay, so I got my oats test in, and we're going to hear how bad it is.
Yes, I'm going to go over your labs, Debbie, and I'm going to point out two things. The first thing that I want to point out that you just discussed is that you think you eat right now, you don't. Everybody thinks that when they come in. Oh, but my diet's so good now, this and that. Okay, well, here's the reality. Okay, once you have these infections, in mycotoxicity and mold infection, yeast, fungus, bacterial dysbiosis, it takes medical intervention by somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay, and it has to be intensive, and it has to be all at once, because every time you eat, you feed the harmful with the helpful, with the probiotic, with the healthy bacteria, right? So, and people eat, and so these are self-replicating organisms. So when you eat, they replicate. So whatever problem you have, just it replicates. They both go up, right? But every day that goes by, just by living on the planet, you're losing the healthy bacteria. Okay, there are pests, in grain has mold and fungus on it. How do you get rid of a mold and fungus? All grain, even organic. How do you get rid of a mold and fungus infection when you're eating mold and fungus? Oh, but just once in a while. That's what people always say, and it drives me nuts, because they, this thing where people, choose what, they make themselves believe that they're doing the right thing because they like the food they're eating. Or they can go on Google, oh, this is okay, just change your diet. You cannot change your diet and fix the problem once you have it. I don't care how well you eat, okay? I don't care how well you eat. So you can't eat well enough. You can fast, but people seem to be very averse to this these days, when it was a common practice, 50 years ago, when people could not eat. Anyway, I'm going to go through these labs. So, but my first point is that you cannot change your diet and fix these problems, okay? And nobody ever knows, even if you could, it would be so hard for them to follow. They wouldn't, they'd have a bad day. And every time you mess up, it explodes on you, because they're hungry, they're in survival mode, and they just explode on you. I've seen it happen, by the way. So we're gonna go over your mycotoxicity labs first. Your symptoms, the chronic inflammation response syndrome, the not being able to breathe in the mornings, the extreme puffiness, that is directly related to the ochre toxin. You are off the charts. The reference range is below 7.5 and nanograms per creatinine unit, and you are 34.7. You are off. There's the little dot that goes into the red. It's hugging the end of my computer, the edge of my computer. You are off the charts with mold, black mold with a black mold infection. Okay, you cannot do anything on your own. You can, I mean, you could. It would take a lot of MMS, 6 months, a specific diet. I mean, every day tenaciously going at it. People just can't do that, and even then, it would be questionable if you would be successful. So you have a black mold infection, Debbie. It's called sick building, or sick building disease, but that's caused by black mold typically. Well, there's that mold is on food, but it's usually from mold in the home. So that and what's interesting is you have no other mold infections. That's good news, because we get to directly hit the ochre toxins while you're in treatment come November 27th for your 7-day. So now I'm going to move over to your organic acids test, which is specific to your gut. Most of your levels that are out now, we're looking at neurotransmitter turnover, we're looking at yeast, fungus, actual quantitative, how bad it is, yeast, fungus, mold, and bacterial dysbiosis infections. Okay, most of them, in the lion's share, in fact, nearly all of them, are directly as a result. They are toxic byproducts of your mold infection, honestly. So you have two very serious conditions. You have the HPHPA infection off the charts, and this is clostridia. This is what can kill people, what has killed people. This is bacteria. This is a bacterial infection in your gut. Do you understand how serious that is? People, when you get an infection, a gut gets infected, it's raw and it hurts, right? Well, your gut is infected with a bacterial infection. It's serious. It's ripping through your gut. It's allowing macrotoxins, larger molecules into the blood system. And by the way, you don't need leaky gut syndrome for your gut to be an irrigation system to get right into your blood system and affect every single organ. You don't need leaky gut. There's over 1,800 toxic chemicals that the bacterial infection causes alone. It goes into the blood system and gets to the brain, the liver. All organs are negatively affected when your gut is sick. Your gut is 35 feet, generally speaking, average, of your body. When it is sick, you are sick, okay? And today, because of the gravity and the less blood in the brain and such, the brain is the one that is suffering the most. Nearly everybody has fog brain. They call it fog brain. It's such a nice word for onset Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. They just love calling it fog brain. Oh yeah, I got fog brain. No, you have onset neurodegenerative disease. You should be clear as a whistle. Until the day you die, you should be clear as a whistle. So anyway, and then the other's, a big one is the cresol, the 4- cresol that you have. That's again, that's the difficile bacteria, clostridia bacterial markers, and that's just aggravating, the first one. So the 4H. So you have, and that one's again off the charts. You are in dangerous shape. Let me add to this real quick. Everybody has their opinions, and believe me, their opinions, and most of them are derived from the mainstream media and the news, and a lot of very unqualified people. People during COVID, and still, wherever COVID went, but during the COVID days, and it was interesting that COVID cured influenza, but anyway, during the COVID days, when people were dying left and right, okay, what did they go into the hospital for? And 82% of them died for. They went in for inflamed lungs. They could not breathe, just like you, Debbie. Guess what? It's not COVID that killed most of the people who got COVID. I'm not saying COVID doesn't exist, because believe me, it exists. But what they died from was not a virus, okay? What they died from was the inflammatory response, because they were sick to begin with something, a biotoxic illness that caused an inflammatory response to COVID when they got it, and that's what killed them. So then, you know, if it didn't kill them before they got on a respirator, it definitely killed 82% of them that went on a respirator, because it's insane to try and force oxygen into an inflamed, raw, tender lung, because it just tears the tissue and then the person can't breathe anymore at all. So anyway, that's how serious it is. You know, like, you know, don't blame COVID for it. I wrote article after article trying to encourage people to, whatever condition you have, if it's heart disease, if it's high cholesterol, whatever it is, don't rely on that pill anymore, because you still have the CIRS, and it's going to kill you if you get COVID, or it's likely, like prescribing death, it's likely to kill you if you get COVID. So anyway, you know, those are the big ones that I wanted to highlight that are actually causing, you know, most all, you know, the yeast and fungus, of course, are causing the rashes, depression. It inflames the brain. You know, the good stuff, the oxygen, the nutrients, and hydration can't get into the cells, and the bad stuff can't get out. So the oxidative stress goes high, which accelerates, you know, brain cell death. That's why I say onset neurodegenerative disease.
Well, I know I definitely feel that, just because I know, like, you know me, I work a lot. I love my work. I love what I do. And I have noticed it. I've noticed that my ability to be able to be snap on. I also know where it comes from, where it came from years and years of overuse. I use Cipro for UTI infections.
That's the worst one. That's
yep. Years of using Cipro, years. Guess what? Who gave it to me? Mayo Clinic. The urologist department did. They said, hey, you know what works great for you? Why don't you just take a PRN, take Cipro?
Yeah, I laugh, but it's so sad.
Feel like you're going to get an infection. So if you're going to have sex, take Cipro.
Right. You know, I laugh, but it's not funny, because people literally are dying from the biotoxin illness every day. And they have tried, they're sincere, hardworking, they'll go on a program, they really want to get well. I know very disciplined people that have come to me and done my program in a very disciplined way, of course succeeded, because it's the right way to go about it in an intensive manner. And they've done other programs, and they nothing. I think about the millions of people that have died of biotoxin illness, and they never even had the respect of being believed for what, or being treated for what they truly had. You know, that's.
Well, I think that's what's interesting when we're talking about mold in particular. You do feel like you're going out of your ever flipping mind.
Yeah.
And I've had all those symptoms, but you just think, you know, because nobody really acknowledges it.
Let me tell you, Debbie. All these biotoxin illness, they actually, those 1,800 chemicals, toxic chemicals, there's a lot more. That's just the bacterial dysbiosis. And yeast and mold and fungus have their own.
Well, I refurbished furniture for years too, so I had chemicals on my hands all the time.
And I see that in the test I'm about to read. So these toxic chemicals, they actually mimic, they're analogs to excitatory neurotransmitters. That's what's driving you crazy. They go to the brain and they actually mimic excitatory neurotransmitters, which puts you in the sympathetic nervous system dominance. And that is where people are getting the anxiety, the fear, the worry, panic attacks. That sends them to psychiatrists, and they get hooked on these drugs, and then they have another host of problems. So, you know, this is affecting the entire population, okay? The entire population. And you know, again, people are dying every day from it, and you know, they never had the opportunity when they were reaching out for help to get the help that they needed. So I'm presenting that help right now. That's what this documentary series.
I think that's the thing I get most excited about, is because you are the most cutting edge person.
I have proof that we do it.
I love cutting edge technology and people that are doing it. So when I met Janita, and you hear about all, she has very, very high end medical devices that she uses, and her knowledge is so extensive that there's a piece of me, I'm so excited to actually go through this transformation in 7 days. It's really exciting. And also to be able to see the labs before and after.
Yeah, like so, in the last snippet that we did, you know, I can't wait to do this too, because I just love showing off. I love showing the medical efficacy of God and nature. You know, I love rubbing it in the allopathic faces, and I only say that, you know, they have their place in medicine, but it's not in biotoxin illness, you know, but because, you know, when you can prove something, then the lies and the dismissals and everything start to fade away. And that's what I hope to do. And that's what I am doing. I am doing that. So let's move on to your environmental toxicities. So exactly what you just said, you know, your former career, you have, and you know, I can actually see here, you know, we test, there's like over 300 chemicals that are tested in here. And where you test extremely high, and most everyone, and by the way, folks, you know, people that vape, stop vaping, stop smoking, period. You know, there's all kinds of gummies and everything out there you can take, organic, please. But the MTBE, you know, that's petroleum byproduct. Typically, it is petroleum byproduct. It's in your water. You know, if you don't have the right filters, but also people who vape, it's actually, you know, petroleum byproduct that they stick in there to make it burn. You know, to make that to ignite. So anyway, that's a big problem with people. I see that off the charts with people coming in. So you have that in moderate amounts. However, because of your phone, now see, the point that I want to make by pulling these to the forefront is that these aren't gone. In fact, they're still redlined. How long ago did you stop working at the textile place?
Doing refurbishing furniture? God, I would say it's been 13 years.
13 years. Well, guess what? Your diphenyl phosphate is off the charts. Let me read right from the lab report. This is a metabolite, or the organophosphate flame retardant, TPHP, which is used in plastic, electronic equipment, nail polish, and resins. And this is the stuff that they make, you know, furniture remodeling stuff, refurbishing stuff with. So TPHP can cause endocrine disruption, which endocrine disruption, you're gonna put on weight, you're gonna go crazy. Your family's gonna disown you. So all the things that go, you know, and menopause is not gonna be pretty, okay? So so that's just from that one TPHP, and that's still in your system. You have it again, it's off the charts. It's supposed to be like 0.8 and you're like well over 6. So that's off the charts still 13 years later, Debbie. So, and then the other one is propylene oxide, and that's another one. Propylene oxide is used to make polyester resins for textile and other construction industries. It's used in lubricants, surfactants, and emulsifiers. So, you know, again, it's also herbicide, microbicide, biocide, and insecticide, fungicide, all the sides, suicide, okay? Pesticide, suicide. Make the connection because it's real. So, you know, can you understand that these things don't go away unless you get the right medical intervention? And then of course, you know, at the clinic, what's important is, I call it the ROI, the return on investment. We teach you how to stay away from everything, all of it, to keep the health status that you leave the clinic with. We get rid of all of this, but you know, you don't want to go right back into your old habits or just not knowing what to stay away from. Everybody wants to change. I understand they have to change, but not everybody is given the correct and true guidance of what they really got to stay away from. Nobody wants to tell them because then nobody will come to your clinic, you know? I tell them because I don't care. If you want to win, you work with me and you stay away from what I tell you to stay away from. If you don't want to win, go work somewhere else and waste your money. And I'm being honest because I don't know anybody that's really, well, there may be a couple of people, you know, let me give a little bit of room, but you know, this is serious today. The food supply is poison. You got to know how to eat, when to eat, and what to eat. And that's the biggest key. There's no pill that's ever going to chase this stuff away. Not one thing that I've highlighted in your charts, nothing in any of these tests is going to go away with you changing your diet and taking some pills. All right, I'm done. We're gonna
post, all right.
So everybody can see these. We are gonna post these lab results. Debbie has given me clearance to do that. I've got full HIPAA clearance from her to do that. So we're gonna post these so you can see, because we're gonna run the afters. We're gonna you're gonna see on video how she starts becoming vibrant and her symptoms and everything is going away and her brain is gonna be clear and all of the symptoms are gonna go away. She's gonna be well on the way to the health that she's seeking in us and in working with us. And then we're gonna also run the lab so you have the scientific report.
That's what I love about you, Janita, is you are so scientific. And the truth is that we really don't have as much science. I always tell this to people, they don't believe me, but I said, Western medicine is not science.
Right.
They don't do science. They're not doing labs on me. They're not figuring out what's going on. They're just handing me more prescriptions.
Debbie, why doesn't everybody who claims that they can get rid of this, why don't they run before and afters and post them on their website? They don't. I see right through bullshit all the time. It's like, okay, you get rid of it. Show me some labs. Put them on a website. Put them on your
We're going to
website.
show you labs, people. We're going to show you labs.
I'm gonna show you
I'm going to get
labs.
this. We're going to show you labs.
I got labs. All right.
You know what? We're going to be as transparent as possible, people, because obviously when you go through a cleanse at 7 days, there's days that are probably not terribly fun because we are getting toxins out. But there's a piece of me that I'm so profoundly relieved to have someone that literally said, you have this going on. Because prior to that, I've got a bloated gut. I've got brain fog. I've got this. My vision's not good. I've got digestive. I can go list on and on and on and on. I've got rashes. But to literally have Janita look at me and say, holy shit, there's a reason you have all this going on.
And by the way, Debbie, here's really the coolest message is that I'm going to prove that all of your symptoms are caused by your biotoxic illnesses. Okay, all of them that we just listed, because they're going to go away. So if they go away, that means I'm hitting the right target, what I'm calling biotoxin illness, right? Right. So they're going to go away. I'm going to prove that all your symptoms are born in biotoxicity.
Yay. All right, people, we will be keeping you updated with all of this and keep joining us along this journey, and make sure you go look up Light Medicine Ministries, because they are doing groundbreaking work. She's actually going to be moving to the Sedona area. So we are actually going to be having medical tourism in the United States landing here in Sedona, because it's going to be world-renowned healing that's going to be going on. There's already world-renowned healing that happens here in Sedona. You've got the combination of science and God. You've got the best of the best. You've got a team of people, and I cannot wait to expose this, because like I promised over and over again, when I find something I feel that is authentic and good that actually is helping people, we need to shout it from the rooftops and promote the hell out of it. Share videos, because when you know people who are suffering from mold toxicity, from biotoxins, this is the woman that can actually help you get better, not just medicate all your symptoms. Because like I said, I've got a rash, I would need cortisone cream on. I've got a gut that's inflamed. We'll even show my gut. It's really not that nice.
We have pictures when I was there.
No, you're not going to show up all those pictures to me.
I saw them the other day. Yes, we are.
She's going to show some nasty ass pictures of my gut.
We're going to post those with the labs.
Janita actually is amazing. Please check out Light Medicine Ministries. We will make all of these vlogs very, you're able to reach out to me. You can message me individually. If you have a question, I'm happy to answer any questions. I will be as true and authentic throughout this entire process for all to see. So we look forward to it, and I'll have a really flat stomach when it's all done.
Yeah, we may have to put, parental guidance needed on some of those snippets, because you're not.
Thanks, Janita.
Okay. Well, I want.
All right. I look forward to it. Thank you. We'll be blogging there on a daily basis.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.